tell.
Hello.
Use the force, Luke.
What you talking about, Luke? Marcia.
What's up now?
Spider friends, go for it.
Transform and roll out.
And I'll form the head. That's what she said.
Don't.
Hey, this is Jonathan.
And this is Alan, and welcome to the Nerd and Me podcast. Jonathan, what are we talking about today?
Alan, it's March, and in college basketball, they're having their March Madness tournament, so we are doing the first, probably not annual, Nerd and Me 80s sitcom March Madness tournament.
That's a long title.
Yeah, you should see the t-shirts. They're all extra large. They're all double XLs.
Hey, this was a tough battle. I think I was texting you almost every night saying, like, dude, there's like 3 or 4 tiebreakers going on here that like literally leading up to the last minute.
Right. We even thought there might be some easy ones in the first round, and there really weren't. So people take their 80s sitcoms very seriously, is what I've learned from this tournament.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, let me just give an overview of what we did. So we took 32 of the top 80s sitcoms. I poured over 3 or 4 different, best sitcoms list of the 80s and extrapolated these 32 entries. And then we didn't really do seeding, except for we did pick 4 that were considered from the list the best sitcoms from the 80s. So they were our top seeds. And we only did that just so they wouldn't meet each other in an early round. We tried to get them to a final round if possible, or later rounds. And then we just pit them against each other, and then we had our fans vote on Instagram.
Yeah, I thought like how it was laid out, it was actually pretty fair. Like the ones that went actually up against each other, they're actually intriguing. Did you like do your own map out? Did you have a favorite to win it all?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so did I. And I thought yeah. Yes.
I will reveal at the end once we get through the whole thing.
There you go.
I will say that there were some surprise, just like our a Christmas movie tournament, there were definitely some upsets in my mind and some surprises. And I also think the final.
Stop it.
Even though. Okay.
we'll get there.
Okay.
As you can see, we're very passionate about this.
Very passionate.
Yeah.
All right. So. Just to do a quick rundown of all 30. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
we'll do them by rounds. All
there
right.
You go.
So I will give the top 4 seeds we gave, and I'm just going to label them north, east, south, and west. Not that it matters, but
wait,
in our brackets,
what?
Just for the brackets, because you have the 4 divisions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So our number 1 seed in the north is The Cosby Show. Mm-hmm. Which was a powerhouse in the 80s. Number 1 seed in the South was Married with Children, which was also a powerhouse and probably kept the Fox network afloat for the first few years it was around. Mm-hmm. In the East, we had Cheers. And in the West, we had what was the West? Was it the Wonder Years, dude?
It could be. I do not have the map out in front of me, but I can look.
I'm going to say the Wonder Years. I'm looking at the map. I just don't remember where I put it on the... It's definitely in the right bracket, but I don't remember if I put it first. So, yes, the Wonder Years.
Yes, it was the Wonder Years, yes.
Yep. All right, so our top seeds was Cosby, Married with Children, Cheers, and the Wonder Years, and we went from there.
There you go.
All right, so Alan's got the results. We're going to talk a little bit about each show, and then he'll tell us what happened. Alan's first round was Cosby Show versus Empty Nest.
Yeah, how do you think this one went?
I think it went Cosby, but if I remember, was Empty Nest one of the shows you didn't remember?
Yeah, I did not. And even like when I saw the picture of the show, I was like, I kind of remember. I mean, I kind of remember, but I couldn't even tell you like one thing about it.
So Empty Nest had Richard Mulligan in it and Christy McNichol and another woman who I can't remember her name, who was actually had like crushed a little bit on back in the day. It was one of those Saturday shows that came on the same night as Golden Girls, and it was just about he was a widowed older man with two daughters, and it was just really about their lives. It was funny, it had its moments, but I could see why you wouldn't remember it if you weren't really like super into NBC's sitcoms. It would be hard to remember, but it was definitely a funny show, and it definitely made the 4 list, and it was on the lower end of the 4 list that I consulted. But yeah, empty nest, and it had that guy. Remember that actor that kind of looked like Harrison Ford?
Oh yeah, you mentioned that too.
He was on it. Said I think his name was David Leisure or something like that. He was the Zuzu guy, Joe Zuzu.
Yeah,
remember those commercials?
That's right. That's why he looks familiar.
Yeah, he was Joe Zuzu.
Yeah.
And so it was Empty Nest versus Cosby. I knew. Here's the thing. I think against Cosby, I kind of knew, and I don't know. You didn't tell me yet, but my opinion was that it wasn't gonna make it out of the first round. If it was, but I think it could have held its own against some of the other sitcoms that are on this list, but unfortunately it got paired up with the Cosby Show.
Yeah, the Cosby Show destroyed it, 89% to 11%. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, those 11%ers, what the F?
I can't even imagine it. You think that was Cosby backlash just because Bill Cosby, what he's been doing?
We talked about that before when we were making the list, that I wonder if that was going to impact it, but I mean, you can't deny the impact the Cosby Show had on TV. I mean,
right.
It was probably the flagship show of must-see TV at its time, I think, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think, and again, I think the empty nest votes were just people like, I'm not voting for Bill Cosby.
Right. Yeah. Well.
So yes, Cosby was 89 to 11%. Not surprised. Actually, just surprised that I got 11%.
I'm telling you.
Again, Empty Nest, solid show.
Sure.
But it was on Saturday nights when people that had lives were out, and young children that weren't allowed out past 8 stayed and watched NBC comedies.
Who was the lead actor in Empty Nest again?
Richard Mulligan.
So I think the only thing I remember him fondly is from the show Soap.
Yes, and I wanted to put Soap on this list, but
that's
Soap
70s,
was
isn't it?
mainly in the 70s. Yeah, 70s.
Yeah. Young Billy Crystal.
Very young Billy Crystal. Yeah. That's where Benson made his debut, who I think is on this list. Young Mona from Who's the Boss?
Oh, yeah.
Which made the list. Yeah, a bunch of people are on Soap. Soap was funny. If anyone listening out there have never seen Soap, go. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but if you can find it, find it. It's called Soap.
That is a great show, actually.
It was a satire on soap operas, but it was very very funny, very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Billy Crystal was the first. He wasn't homosexual. He played a homosexual on the show, and I think he was the first openly gay character on TV. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. So Cosby. Our next round, same bracket, is Who's the Boss versus Punky Brewster. Now I don't know how this turned out. I have a feeling it'd be pretty close, especially with Punky Brewster kind of on everybody's mind now since Peacock debuted the first season of the new Punky Brewster show, which I watched one episode. Yeah, she said the words "punky power," and I had to turn it off.
So she's a star. She's a star of the show. They brought her back.
Yeah.
How about the other people? Did they come back?
They brought back Cherry. They brought back, Cherry, her best friend.
Okay.
The father's passed away, Henry. He died in real life. And they make mention of him. And Freddie Prinze Jr. plays her ex-husband.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's divorced. She's got 3 kids of her own, and then she takes in a foster child. Kind of like how, Punky was a foster child.
Gotcha.
Oh, by the way, Empty Nest was on for 7 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's okay.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
I guess. Yeah.
So we had Punky versus Who's the Boss. Now, what did you think was going to win? Which show did you personally like more?
Who's the Boss for sure. I remember that being super popular and it was a huge hit. Especially and Tony Danza was coming off another hit show. I mean, he did Taxi, though he wasn't the main character, but he was still, widely known. And And what was the name of the little girl on the show?
I almost said Marissa Tomei, but it's not. It's Alicia Milano.
Milano. And I think she became maybe the breakout star from that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and like you said, Mona, again from a hit TV show Soap, turns out to be like the mom of whatever her name is.
Judith Light, who was Angela.
Angela. Yeah.
Well, here's a fun fact. So Empty Nest was on 7 years. Who's the Boss? 6 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Wow.
Wait, let's see if I did my
I
math.
totally remember that differently.
Guess who cannot do math? It was on 8 years.
Okay.
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So the thing about Alyssa Milano was, I think she was the first girl on TV that I was the same age as.
Oh,
you know, because
okay.
I crushed on Melissa Gilbert, but Melissa Gilbert's like 5 or 6 years older than me, and all this other stuff. But Alyssa Milano and I are pretty much the same age. I'm like 2 months older than her.
So you were thinking you had a chance?
Well, no, but it was nice. It was nice growing up and having a crush on the girl that could have gone to my high school.
Right.
Oh, and I kind of have a 1,000 degrees separation connection with Danny Pintaro, who played the little boy Jonathan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he had been in Cujo, the movie Cujo. He played the little boy in Cujo, and my cousins, when they moved to Central Jersey, we had all lived up in North Jersey when we were younger. He had moved, his family moved to Central Jersey. They bought Danny Pintaro's house.
Oh.
Like his family home, because they were moving from New Jersey to California because his career was just taking off. So they bought his house. They met him and stuff like that. And then, so I actually played in Danny Pintaro's house when I was younger.
Wow. What? That's so amazing.
Touch me. I'm famous adjacent.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
Yeah,
story.
but that was like the big story. Like, oh yeah, my cousin lives at Danny Pintaro's house.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So who won? Well, I know who won, but tell us who won.
Yeah, this was a bigger gap than I thought. Like you said, I thought it was gonna be a little bit closer, but 84% went to Who's the Boss, and Punky got 16%.
I really thought it'd be a little closer.
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Punky would have broken 25%.
Right.
Did you watch Punky Brewster?
No.
I kind of watched it. I think it was one of those shows that was on in between other good shows that I liked. So it was like kind of on.
I want to say, was there an episode about? I'm getting confused now. Was there an episode about like like people used to throw away refrigerators and you're supposed to take the door off? I think there was an episode of like that's. I don't know if that's even the right show, but I'm associating it.
Yeah, I think Cherry got locked in the refrigerator.
Okay, for some reason I remember that.
Yeah, and these were older refrigerators. The doors were really heavy and stuff like that. Like I don't think a child could get stuck in a refrigerator now unless they're really small.
Yeah. It'll save you from a nuclear blast, though. Apparently.
I gotta bring that movie up. Punky Brewster was on for 4 years, and I kind of remember. I might have been on the same night as Voyagers. You remember Voyagers?
I love Voyagers.
I really like Voyagers too.
Bob.
But for some reason, my brain is connecting Punky with Voyagers. Or it could be, I just realized it. It could be that her brother was on Voyagers. That's why.
Oh, really?
That might be the Punky connection. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because I'm way off. It was only on 1 year in 1982, and Punky Brewster was on in 1984.
Voyagers was only on for 1 year?
Yep.
Dude, that's a TV show I wish went on for a couple seasons.
That's a TV show I want them to remake.
Yeah.
With the new with the new whatchamacallits, the new special effects out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the concept was brilliant. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing as, kind of like Quantum Leap, but not.
A little different.
A little different. Yeah. But no, it's fun.
All right, so the Cosby and Who's the Boss make it to the next round.
There you go.
All right, our next matchup was Family Ties versus Give Me a Break.
Boom. Any predictions?
Pain. Give Me a Break. Yeah, predictions is Family Ties. obviously.
Yeah.
Give Me a Break, though, was a pretty funny show. And that was early 80s. That was like, let me see, I'm looking. It's at 81 to 87. First of all, I can't believe that thing was on for 6 years.
Yeah.
Because I think the lead, the male lead, passed away.
Oh, is that what
show.
happened in the show? Oh, wow, I don't remember that.
Yeah, Dolph Sweet was his name. Oh no, well, it looks like he died in 85. The show went on until 87.
Okay.
But it starred Nell Carter, and Give Me a Break she was the housekeeper, right, for the family.
I remember that show being
Andy
hugely popular, actually. But
yeah, I remember in the beginning it was really popular, but I would have never guessed it went on until 87.
Right. What's the name of that young boy? I think the young boy became like a big name.
No, they had 3 daughters. Oh, Joey Lawrence. That's right.
Joey Lawrence. There you go. Yeah, he became some.
And then there were 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Right? I think there were 3 daughters.
Maybe. But dude, Family Ties. I mean, that's almost like defined the 80s TV sitcom, I think.
Yeah, Family Ties was hugely impactful. It was, basically Michael J. Fox's huge break. And yeah, it definitely influenced culture, because look what WandaVision did. They totally ate, when they had to do an 80s sitcom, they ate Family Ties.
Yeah. They do the theme sewn along is fantastic.
Yeah, and I like the twist about the liberal parents and the conservative son. That's not something you saw on TV.
Right.
Usually the other way around. Family Ties was on for
ever
7 years.
That's all?
Give Me a Break. Yeah, so Give Me a Break had the same amount of time on as Family Ties. It's pretty wild.
Look at that.
Tina Yothers, Justine Bateman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, look, Family Ties is a powerhouse. For it to not make it out of the first round, it would have had to have gone up against like a Cosby or a Cheers or something like that.
Right. Yep. Yeah, they destroyed Give Me a Break. 95% to 5%.
I wonder if people even remember Give Me a Break.
I bet you they did, but Family Ties, that's a solid show. I mean, like, even though if you like Give Me a Break, you gotta admit Family Ties is the better show. Had Tom Hanks, Courtney Cox.
Family Ties is definitely a better show than Give Me a Break. All right. Next bracket was Doogie Howser, MD, versus Alf. This was a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
But that's my own personal preferences, because before we get into it, tell us who won, and then we can talk about it.
Okay. I was shocked about this one. Not only shocked, but no. Okay, I was shocked. Doogie lost 41% to Alf's 59%. Yeah.
And when I say it's my own personal thing, I did not like Alf at all. I didn't like the show. And I tried to like the show, and I couldn't. I watched it. I just didn't like it. And I thought Doogie Howser was a much better show. Although it can be, Doogie Howser is one of those shows that I also saw on drama lists too.
Yeah.
Which might have hurt. It's not a comedy thing. Maybe some people thought it didn't have a laugh track. It wasn't filmed the same way as most of these sitcoms, so maybe that hurt it. But I thought Doogie Howser was a better show. Maybe Alf was funnier. You might be able to make that argument that Alf was funnier. But I thought Doogie was a better show. But yeah, Alf, which stood for Alien Life Form, was a huge hit for NBC. You remember the first maybe 2 years it was on, you couldn't get away from the guy. He was in commercials. He was introducing. He was on talk shows. He was introducing other shows. Just Alf was all over the place.
Yeah, I think Alf is just a bigger cultural phenomenon compared to Doogie. Alf, everyone, I guess at the time, knew of him or made jokes about him, and people maybe found him clever. I like Doogie Howser, though, as maybe had deeper storylines. I loved how the show ended. He kind of had he was sitting behind his computer, have a little retrospective about his life and kind of what his day was like. And it was a unique kind of show too. A young, I think he was high school maybe, or maybe I don't remember, was even a high school graduate yet, but he was a little kid.
Well, no. Oh, you mean
Doogie, yeah.
No, because Doogie graduated college. He was a doctor.
I'm talking about. I'm sorry, but like his age wise, he was like
I see.
15, maybe 16.
This says he was 10. when the show
10.
started.
Yeah, that's wow.
Princeton graduates
10.
10-year-old prodigy. Oh no, maybe he got out of undergrad at 10 and he went to med school. So maybe he was 14, 15.
Yeah. That's like mind blowing, and but it was cool. And his buddy's name was Vinny, I think.
His buddy was Vinny Delpino.
Yeah, I like that
And
guy.
his girlfriend was Wanda, right?
Maybe I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Wanda who, to me, she's grown up now, obviously, and she doesn't look anything like she did as a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's still beautiful, but she looks very, like when I saw her adult picture, I'm like, that's not Wanda.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then there was, what was I gonna say? Oh, so wait, that last episode that you remember, is it
Yeah, what are you talking about? Which one?
the Doogie Howser last episode?
I don't remember the last episode.
You just said you liked how it ended. He's reflecting on his life.
No, I meant how each show ends.
Oh, I see. I thought you said the last episode.
He has like this, he types on his computer and he talks about his life and his day and,
Gotcha. He's the first blogger
Oh.
without an internet.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, so Doogie Howser loses, but it was close. It was 59-41.
You know what, dude? I think you're right. I think Doogie as a TV sitcom doesn't fit the same rhythm as these other shows.
The mold, yeah.
Yeah, this was more like TV drama, I think.
And honestly, Doogie premiered in 89, so it spent most of its time in the 90s.
In the 90s, okay. Oh, no kidding. Was it 89?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Okay.
Alpha was definitely in the 90s. I mean, the 80s.
Okay. Moving along.
Moving right along. All right, so that's Alpha. So I guess, will we consider that our first episode? Or maybe not. I don't know.
No, I mean, Alf is definitely worldwide appeal. I think if you had to pick like between two icons of TV, Alf versus Doogie, I'd probably have to give it to Alf.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't tell who the other characters in Alf are, though.
Yeah, it was Willie, right? Wasn't that the dad?
Beats me. I have no idea.
Apparently, the actor hated being on that show. The dad actor.
Oh, he hated getting a paycheck?
Yeah. All right, so now we're in the South bracket, which again, these bracket names mean nothing. We're in the South bracket. Number 1 seed, Married with Children, went up against Kate and Allie. Now, Kate and Allie was a big hit for CBS back in the day, and it was probably more. I didn't watch it, but probably more adult oriented. I feel like a lot of those CBS shows were adult oriented, even though they were sitcoms. Kate and Allie, Newhart, Designing Women, things like that. But they were all big hits. Murphy Brown, they were all big hits for CBS. So that's why they were all on the lists that we were looking at.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had Married with Children against Kate and Allie.
Kate, do you have the years of when Kate and Allie came out, by any chance?
I do. It came out
I'm
in
guessing.
84.
Oh, yeah, early 80s. Oh, 84. Okay.
Yeah, it came out 84 and ended in 89, so it was on 5 years.
Wow.
And Married with Children, I think, came out in 88, 87. Yeah, that was on like 10 years, I think, Married with Children. 87 and 97. Yep, 10 years.
I like Kate and Allie. I actually did watch it. My brother and I used to watch that TV show. I think we were both in love with with the daughters and stuff. But I don't know, but they're pretty.
Well, I know that the redhead daughter is really good. She was on The West Wing later. She's really good looking.
Oh, really?
I think she was Annie at one point.
Okay. And
so you watched it? It was funny.
I don't remember it was a show where I was like ha laughing. I just remember it was entertaining, and if it was on, I'd watch it. And I think the actress in there, I don't remember her name, but she was from SNL, so I kind of remember her from that.
Jane Curtin.
Yeah.
So it was Jane Curtin, Susan St. James. Susan St. James was Kate. Jane Curtin was Allie. Allison Smith was the redhead. She's Jenny. Ari Myers was Emma.
Okay.
Are there two daughters or one daughter or three?
Each mom had a daughter, and then one had a daughter and a son.
Oh yeah, Chip Lowell.
Yeah.
Frederick Holt.
Yeah. Kid was annoying.
He pops up every once in a while and things. Yeah. Yeah. So Kate and Allie was it's. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to find its IMDb rating. Why it keeps doing that to me?
Oh,
I got a 6.8, which is respectable.
Okay.
6.8.
mm-hmm.
And then Married with Children was on 10 years. So, what's his name? Al Bundy, Ed O'Neill he had 2 shows that went 10 years. He had Married with Children and the one that just ended, Modern Family.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so Kate and Allie has 6.8 on IMDb. Married with Children has an 8.0. All right, I thought this would be close. I don't know the exact numbers. I kind of knew Married would win, but what were the numbers?
We got 89% for Married with Children and 11% for Kate and Allie.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess you got to think, some TV shows, the longevity, 10 years is a long time to be in your face for it to be, like, influential. Kate and Allie, maybe not so much. Yeah,
and when you think of that, Married started firmly in 87, in the mid-80s, but lasted into the mid to late 90s is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So that's two generationals. That's the 80s kids and the 90s kids.
Yeah, and if you had to compare the two, Married with Children was more of a real haha kind of show, where Kate and Allie, I don't remember it that way, where it was like, like one day at a time. It was, it had light jokes, but not like serious humor like Married with Children. And like Roseanne, Married with Children was very much a groundbreaking sitcom. Yeah, yeah. And I do believe it saved, because I remember when the Fox Network came out in 87, I watched everything on there, and it was pretty much all garbage except for Married with Children. I remember some of the shows, The Adventures of Beans Baxter. Actually, Parker Lewis Can't Lose, show I liked. That was a cool show, actually. Yeah. Kind of like First Beat. Yeah, I just can't remember the whole first. We have to do a show on the first year of Fox. Yeah, so Married with Children. Yeah, I understand. I thought Kate and Allie would get more votes, so to be honest with you. Yeah. A lot of these, the voting, I think, has to do with your age as well. I mean, if you're a little bit on the older side, like, let's say that you and I are old, but we're not young either. So we would have more of an influence or exposure to, like, the early 80 kind of TV shows versus, like, a 90s kid, so. But those, I mean, I remember Married with Children. I didn't watch it all 10 years, but I watched it for a long time. Married with Children is a funny show. Yeah, it's a solid show. And look, even like Cosby, I laughed out loud at. Who's the Boss? I laughed out loud at. Family Ties, I laughed out loud at. Alf, not so much. Yeah, so this is pretty much, the tournament's going pretty much the way I thought it would so far. All right, next round. Next bracket, we have Different Strokes versus Silver Spoons. Yeah. I didn't think this would be close. I don't remember if it was. But they're both NBC shows. Different Strokes was like the NBC powerhouse at one point. Of course, it had Gary Coleman, Todd Bridges, Dana Plato. It's the sad thing the show is remembered for is the tragic ending of two of its child stars. When you talk about child stars going bad or not doing well or messing up their lives or whatever, this is the show you start with. Yeah. But Different Strokes as a show was a fantastic show. I mean, the concept of it, you have these two poor kids being adopted by this rich white guy, living it up, and I love that the two brothers just holding on to their roots a little bit too. They never really got to their head. They didn't really act boastful or anything like that, and they went through a couple of maids, but overall, I thought it was a great show. Lots of Nancy Reagan, Mr. T was on it. Yeah. I want to see what there's a football player that was it. I'm sure there was a Joe Namath, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I'm thinking of the Brady Bunch. Yeah. No, but Different Strokes, they had very special episodes every year. They, Gary Coleman was just funny. Todd Bridges had a catchphrase, which you talk about, Wills. That was Arnold. Todd Bridges didn't see that. No, I meant the show as a whole. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Both shows had great intro music. Silver Spoons and Different Strokes. Oh, yeah. So, Different Strokes was on for, why can't I see it? 78 to 86, so that's 8 years. Gosh, that's one of those shows I felt was on longer than that. 8 years is a long time, though. Lots of reruns.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when you go through three maids, they had Edna, who went on to do Facts of Life, Edna Garrett, and then they had Adelaide,
Yeah.
and then they had Pearl.
I didn't like her.
Who?
Pearl.
I felt neither.
I like
felt
Mrs.
nothing
Garrett.
toward any of them. Mrs. Garrett was good. She was going to Facts of Life.
You know, Silver Spoon was one of those shows. It was good, and I wanted it to be better. You know, like for some reason I liked it. Ricky Schroeder, Erin Gray was on it, and what's the kid's name?
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Alfonso Ribeiro.
There you go. It's a show that I thought would be bigger, but I don't remember being on TV very long. Like
It was on for 6 years.
Really 6 years.
Yeah, but it always gave you. You're right. Like I'd watched it. I probably watched every episode or whatever as a kid, but you always felt like it could have been a little bit funnier.
Yeah.
Like cusp of being funnier, and they just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah, and it was a show that I think, like, there was a comedy, had, I think, I don't know, it was a little bit more, if you had to compare between the two, Different Strokes was purely a comedy show, and Different Stroke was, I don't know, a little less, I guess. I couldn't remember any of the jokes in it. I just remember Edward being like this, an adult kid, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Did they? Because I know Erin Gray started off as his assistant. Did they wind up getting married on the show?
I don't know if they wound up getting, I do remember them hooking up. I mean, no, kissing, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually went that far.
I'm curious. I remember now.
I don't know. But yeah, I remember liking the cast. I just remember it like it was there but not there. Anyway, so what percentage are you thinking on this?
I think Different Strokes demolished Silver Spoons.
So of all the voting we had a bunch of landslides. This was, even though Different Strokes did win, not as big as I thought, 75% to 25%.
Okay.
So not too bad. Yeah, I really thought Different Strokes was going to be like one of the big powerhouse ones, I think. But well, anyway, we'll see. Next.
Yeah, I thought Strokes would beat Silver Spoons by more than 25%. Is respectable though.
It is. And I don't have anything negative about that show. I couldn't think of any specific episodes if I had to think back versus Different Strokes,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get it, because I could think of specific Cosby Show episodes, not Who's the Boss so much, Family Ties episodes, specific ones.
Oh, for Who's the Boss, I remember when my daughter, before she got her car, because I always used to joke, she'd ask me, hey, Papa, what kind of car are you going to get? I said to her, you're going to get the crappiest car I can think of. It's going to have 3 wheels on it, and then there was an episode, was it Sam? Isn't that the name of the daughter, right?
Sam, yeah.
Yeah. And there was an episode where Tony got her like a car. It was kind of like wrapped with like reflectors and tied on tires as bumpers and stuff. And he's like, safety. And I told my daughter, this car right here, this is exactly what you're going to get. And the look on her face was, she's like, I hate you, Father. Okay, moving on.
All right, so our next round, I don't know the numbers on this one, but they're both 80s powerhouses, Newhart and Growing Pains.
Yeah, big
now,
ones.
Newhart.
Go ahead. I think this has to do again with when it came out, but I could be wrong. I'm thinking Newhart came out early 80s versus Growing Pains.
I'll tell you.
You got the years on that one? Yeah.
Newhart was out 82 to 90.
Oh wow.
And then Growing Pains. I'm telling you, it was one of those CBS shows that I don't think I ever turned my TV to channel 2. That's why, you're like, yeah, 82 to 90, that's a long time to be on. And then Growing Pains was 85 to 92. So.
Yeah, I just think that if you're a little bit younger, that Newhart would be like a what? But, dude, I remember Newhart being super popular.
Yes, Newhart was hugely popular. Probably won like a crap load of Emmys and stuff like that too. And it's probably most famous for its last episode. So Bob Newhart had a show before called the Bob Newhart Show on in the 70s where he played a psychiatrist. And they ended the Newhart Show where he was he owned an inn. The final episode, the final scene was him waking up saying he had a nightmare, and his wife turns to him, and it was his wife from his first show. And he's like, "Oh, I had a nightmare that I owned an inn in New Hampshire," and that's where the Newhart show took place. And it was like very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like meta and very out of the box for what was going on then. So it was his wife from his first show telling him, "Oh, you had a dream," and he woke up in his old bedroom, the bedroom from the old show. This whole thing.
I thought that when they did an ending, I thought that was like a mock of when Madonna did it for SNL, because SNL had like a horrible season, and the start of that, like the next season, Madonna's like, it was just a bad dream or it was a nightmare or something like that. And I think that came out about the same time, because I remember when that Newhart episode came out, I was like, oh, this is the Madonna ripoff.
Oh no, I don't know if it ripped them off, but I can't speak to that. So they, it's well known for that. And it was a funny show. It was on for what, 9 years we said, or something like that, 8 years.
Well, I didn't know it was on that long.
And it went up against Growing Pains, which I remember Growing Pains. I really liked Growing Pains. Was a funny show.
It was, yeah. Yep. Kirk Cameron,
the biggest name to come out of that.
Exactly. He became just hugely popular. What the heck did he do after that, though?
Well, he did a few movies. He did a movie I really liked, Listen to Me, where he played a law student with the girl from Can't Buy Me Love.
Really?
Yeah, and they had to, like, I think it was a mock thing, but they had to, like, try the an abortion case or something, or Roe v. Wade in front of, like, a mock Supreme Court. It was very dramatic. I liked it. Yeah, he had his own show on the WB or the CW, whatever it was called Kirk. That was on for 2 seasons, I think.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then he's a very religious person, and he does a lot of Christian movies and stuff now. In fact, I think that's all he does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember. I think he did like a movie called Left Behind, which is.
Oh, and apparently he did an episode of Fuller House.
Really?
Yeah. The Left Behind books. I read the Left Behind books. They were pretty good. They didn't get as good toward the end, but those were pretty good. And he played the main character in 3 of those movies, Left Behind.
There you go.
But yeah, he does a lot of. It's all Christian work here, except for the Fuller House. And he played himself. He played Kirk Cameron.
Hey,
well, his sister is Candace Cameron Bure, who was on Full House.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Growing Pains is funny. Very funny show. Yeah, Bonus to Bone. He wound up marrying, not Boner, Kirk Cameron wound up marrying the actress who played his girlfriend on the show, one of his girlfriends on the show.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, this one I thought was going to be a lot closer, but Growing Pains took it 78% to 22%. Both good shows. Huh? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing. All right.
Yeah, like I said, if you're a little bit younger, I would probably say that you probably didn't even know who Newhart was. But yeah, Newhart was that was a good show, from what I remember.
Mm-hmm. This next one I thought would be hard. It was hard for me.
That's what she said.
Exactly. Bosom Buddies versus Night Court. Now, Bosom Buddies was not on a long time.
Really? 2 years? 3 years?
I think it was, let me see. Bosom Buddies was on for 2 years, 80 to 82. So 3 seasons or 2?
Wow.
2 seasons, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it had 2 seasons versus Night Court, which I feel like was on forever.
I wonder if it's because Tom Hanks just made it, I wonder when Splash came out. I wonder if he's like, screw this TV stuff. I'm doing movies. Make more money.
Night Court was 84 to 92. So that's what, 6-7 years. Yeah, I think Bosom Buddies was as funny as Night Court. It just didn't last as long.
Yeah.
And that might have hurt it. And being early 80s, depending on the age of our listeners, they might not remember Bosom Buddies as much as they remember Night Court. So I would say, for me, it was hard to pick a winner. But I would say that Night Court probably won.
Oh, do you know what year Bosom Buddies came out? What was the years it came out?
Bosom Buddies?
1980
to 82. Splash came out in 84.
80 to 82. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think Bosom Buddies just didn't get the ratings. That's why.
That's crazy. That was a funny ass show. Donna
it was.
Dixon. Oh, that was a great concept too.
Peter Scolari, yeah.
Oh, dude, he was on Newhart also. Anyway.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. You see, Splash came out in '84. He must have been like, screw this. I'm making movies. Make way more money. Yeah.
Tom Hanks named Buffy Wilson.
And, dude, Night Court was a solid show, too. I definitely remember that was one of those must-see TV shows where, like you couldn't wait for that show to be on again.
Dude, I loved Night Court. Night Court was so funny.
It was. I think maybe John Larroquette was probably the breakout actor on that show.
John Larroquette. Yeah, Harry Anderson, Marky Post, Richard Mall. Why do I know these names? Marsha Warfield. I think that's everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Night Court, 69. Bosom Buddies, 31.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, I can see that, I guess. Like you said, if Bosom Buddies was only on for 3 years. Wow, just only 3. That's crazy. Well, I guess there's only so much you can write. Because I remember that towards the end, he confesses to Donna Dix, whatever her name is in the show. Like, hey, I'm
yeah,
really,
the girls knew. Wendy Jo Sperber.
Well, only one of them
Donna
knew.
Dixon. No, I think both of them. Well, Wendy Jo knew from the beginning.
Yeah, and then the Sunny didn't learn till like later on.
Yeah, well, they opened their own were they advertisers?
Weren't they writers?
I thought they were in the ad business. They opened their own little company. Yeah, it was good, but you're right. How long could they keep up the dressing like a woman thing and these are our brothers?
Right, exactly. Buffy and Hildegard. Funny show. All right, let's.
Well, it's so dated too. You think back like a woman's only apartment building. Like what?
Yeah.
Well, it still exists or something.
I guess. All right, next one.
All right, so Night Court. All right, now we're on the east side. So we got Cheers versus 227. And 227, I think, was the other show you said you didn't remember.
I was like, "What the f is that?" And even when I looked at the
right.
picture, I said it again. What the f is that? I don't know.
227 was the series with she played Florence, right? Marla Gibbs.
Oh, from Jeffersons?
She played the maid in Jeffersons, Marla Gibbs. And then she got 227. It was on for 5 years.
Well, is that supposed to be the same character?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. I think it was on the same night. I think it was like Golden Girls, Empty Nest, Amen, and 227. I think they were all on Saturday night. And 227 was pretty popular. That Saturday night comedy was pretty popular. That comedy block. Amen, which had Sherman Hemsley as
from the
pastor.
Jeffersons, yeah.
Yep. So Marla Gibbs played Mary Jenkins, who's the mother. So it's about an apartment building, people living in an apartment building. Big names come out of there. It was Jack A. Harry. And I guess the biggest name was Jack A. Yeah, and I think the biggest name was Regina King.
Okay.
Who's a very popular actress now. She's in all sorts of things. She wins awards and stuff. Did she win an Oscar? Yeah, she won an Oscar for If Beale Street Could Talk, supporting actress. She's been nominated a few times before. She won a Primetime Emmy for Watchmen. She was the main superhero in Watchmen. Did you watch the Watchmen series?
No.
She was Sister Knight in Watchmen. She won an Oscar for a show, a limited series called 7 Seconds. She won an Emmy for American Crime.
No, dude, who are you talking about? You zoned me out already.
Regina King.
Oh, okay.
Saying she's the biggest star to come out of 227.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And she was in one of my favorite shows called Southland, which had a cameo by Marla Gibbs. Like she did a scene. Marla Gibbs played her mother in 227, and she had Marla Gibbs had a cameo later on in her other show Southland. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Cheers won that hands down.
Destroyed, dude. 94% to 6%.
Who's the 6%?
Yeah, you 6%ers and 11% that voted for.
No, but even with the Cosby, I understand if people just like, I'm not voting for Cosby for anything ever again. I get that. But I mean, you could love 227, but there's no way anyone can say 227 was a funnier show than Cheers.
Exactly. I was expecting. I wonder if we're gonna get like 100% for one and 0% for the other. But Cheers was phenomenal. Holy smokes, was that such a good show?
Yeah. And it was literally the 80s. It was on from 82 to 92. It was on for 10 years.
Wow. Yeah. 6%ers, 227.
Weird.
Whatever.
Well, some people just want to watch the world burn.
Well, true. Very true. True. All right.
Next, Webster and Mama's Family.
Wow. Did you watch either of these?
I watched both of them, and I don't know that Webster was one of those shows, kind of like Silver Spoon, that I thought was not Silver Spoon is a bad example. Webster was a show that I didn't think should have been as popular as it was.
You mean during its time, you mean?
During its time. It was on for 6 years. And that's a show that was totally carried by Emmanuel Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah. His charm, his personality. So Webster was on for 6 years. Alex Karras, former football player, played George Papadopoulos, and Susan Clark played his wife. And I think they were married in real life. Catherine. So it was George and Ma'am, remember?
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Webster would call George, and Catherine Ma'am. And I remember an episode, we were talking before about episodes that you might remember from the show. I remember an episode of Webster where Catherine was trying to get closer to Webster, and she just felt like she wasn't doing a good job of it. And like she took umbrage. She's like, well, she doesn't even call me Catherine. He calls me Ma'am. Like he won't even call me by my name. Like he calls you George. And so she asked Webster, and Webster goes, well, Ma'am, it's because it sounds so much like Mom. And she went, oh, the whole crowd went, oh.
No.
Yeah. So the premise behind Webster was that Webster's parents were like best friends with George and Catherine, and they died in a car accident or something, and they took in Webster and raised them. So yeah, Webster,
between the two, really dude, Mama's Family, that was, I almost cussed there. This was hugely popular. I mean, if you had to compare the two,
Mama's Family was not popular in terms of.
You got to be kidding me.
Listen, Mama's Family premiered on, I think, NBC, and only went one season. Mama's Family it found its audience in syndication.
Really?
And that's why it got 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Mama's Family was funny.
Yeah,
it was funny, but maybe it was hugely popular in syndication, but it didn't make it its first year or 2 years. It was on like NBC or whatever.
Wow, that's crazy.
And that's Vicki Lawrence. Mama's Family was hilarious.
It was hilarious. Yeah, totally.
Funny. Yeah, and that came out of a Carol Burnett show skit, I think.
Oh, it could have been. I know Vicki Lawrence was on the Carol Burnett show. I always thought in life they were like sisters.
I'm pretty sure Mama's Family was on the Carol Burnett show, because Carol Burnett, I think, even guest starred as one of Mama's Thelma's daughter. Yeah.
Anyway, yo, dude, guess a percentage.
Mama's Family, and I don't even know which one, to be honest with you. Mama's Family, Webster, 49-51.
Dude, very close. 48-52, Mama's Family. I was blown away. I was like, holy smoke, Webster's got legs. Yeah. Boom. Wow, yeah, that was super close. Razor close. Well, maybe not razor, 48-52.
No, that's pretty close. I mean, for what we've been doing, what we've been seeing. And I think Betty White and what's her name played her mama's daughters. Betty White and not B. Arthur. Who's the other Golden Girl?
I don't know.
Betty White.
Oh yeah, you're right. They both were. Yeah, that's right. Wow, I never made that connection before.
Blanche, who played Blanche? This is gonna drive me nuts now.
Yeah, we'll go. You're there. Dude, this is one of those head-to-heads that went right up to the last second of voting. It was
really?
Yeah, I kept telling her, like, dude, I can't believe we 50-50. We're like, we gotta wait till the last moment to get a winner.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked Webster was doing that well. Because to me, Webster was just a ripoff of Arnold. To me.
Yeah, I think that was everyone's kind of thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same basic premise. A white couple who adopts an African American kid whose parents died.
And Different Strokes is way better of a show than Webster, I thought. But then again, 48% disagrees. Well, maybe not disagrees, but really like the show better.
No, they just think Webster's better than Mom's Family. I can respect that.
Exactly.
Especially since it was on syndication. Maybe people didn't watch it in syndication.
I guess. Yeah.
All right. Our next round was A Different World, which was the Cosby Show spinoff, versus Mr. Belvedere. I didn't know which way this was going to go. I will say, my own personal opinion, A Different World started as a show for Lisa Bonet when she was Denise on Cosby to go to college. Mm-hmm. But she didn't. Once she left the show got so much better.
It did. That was so surprising too.
When they started to focus on Dwayne Wayne and the girl played by Jasmine Guy, I can't remember her character name. When they focused on them two, the show got so much funnier.
Yeah.
And little trivia, Marissa Tomei was in the first season of A Different World.
Get the out of what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Whitley. That's who she played. Whitley.
Really?
Yeah, I liked A Different World a lot. It was on for 6 years.
Yeah, that was heck of funny.
Yeah, Dwayne when they stopped making Dwayne Wayne a loser or a nerd or whatever,
right?
And he dated Whitley and stuff. That show got really good.
Yeah, definitely. Mr. Belvedere, I remember being popular, but I don't remember watching maybe 1 minute of that show.
Okay, so let's see. We got 6 seasons of Different World. I watched Mr. Belvedere. Let me see what Mr. Belvedere, because Bob Uecker is so funny. Belvedere. All right, Mr. Belvedere was on from 85 to 90. So 5 years versus 6 years. So it was pretty much, and they were on pretty much the same amount of time. So I would think A Different World one.
Okay, now, if we're talking razor thin, this is razor thin. Belvedere, 49%. Different World, 51%. Again, this is one of those, Jonathan, holy cow, man. I can't believe it's gone up to the last second.
Wow.
Yeah. Mr. Belvedere. Yeah. What's up with that?
Belvedere would have those kind of legs. I think people forgot how funny Different World was. I think I watched Different World in syndication, like on reruns when it, like in the
that was a funny show. I remember liking the characters a lot. Yeah.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
All right. Pretty good. All right. Our next round was Murphy Brown versus Charles in Charge. Murphy Brown was an Emmy critics' darling show.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I tried to watch it. Maybe it was because of the adult humor, or humor aimed at adults. I did not like Murphy Brown. But Murphy Brown went from 88 to 8. Well, this is 2018 because they brought it back for a season, but that can't be right. 88 to, I guess, around 97, 98. Let me see the awards it won, because I'm sure it won like a crap load of Emmys, which really made me mad because it was beating like shows I liked. Do you remember? Did you watch Murphy Brown? Excuse me, Brown?
No, but I got a funny Murphy Brown. So while you look that up, dude, I was in class. I was in college, right? And I remember in class, this lady raises her hand and says, the class was Monday night, I think. I was pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think it was a Monday night. And she had the audacity to raise her hand in class, and she says, "Teacher, can we move this class to another night? Because this just happens to run at the same time as Murphy Brown." I looked at her like, you got to be effing kidding me. Telling professor we're going to change the class. Well, yeah, it was a night class, yeah.
So was it a woman, like an adult woman, or a college student?
It was an adult woman.
Okay, so not your usual, like 18 to 21 years old.
She was older than me. Because she had a job.
Okay.
She was taking a night class. I took the night class. What
did the professor say?
The professor didn't even entertain that question. We all looked at her like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Drop the class if you love it so much.
Or buy VCR.
Oh my god! Can we move the class because at the same time as Murphy Brown? Oh, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude!
Did the class crack up or no?
And we just stared at her, like, what? Teacher just ignored it. It was awesome.
I would have gotten in trouble for laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. All right. No, I can't find how many awards it won. I'm sure it won a lot of awards.
All right.
I know what's her name kept winning them. Candace Bergen.
Yeah.
So say
whatever about her. Nicole Eggert won my heart.
Oh yeah. Well, Charles in Charge. They had that first season where They had the one family, and then it really that was another show that was in syndication. And then I just remember being on WPIX Channel 11 all the time. Yeah, and then Nicole Eggert, and then the other daughter grew up to be really hot.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Well, okay, let's move to the laptop over here.
Josie, Josie something.
Really?
I think she popped up on Melrose Place as an adult. Not Josie Bissett. Scott Baio, Willie Ames, Nicole Eggert, Josie Davis.
Really?
Yeah, and then the boy, Alexander Polinsky.
And the boy.
Yeah, so Charles in Charge.
Right, dude.
Funny show. It took place in New Jersey. He went to Rutgers, so that was pretty cool. He's a college student taking care of the kids.
Yeah.
As the theme song says, a new boy in the neighborhood lives downstairs. New boy in the neighborhood lives downstairs, and something. He's here just to take good care of me, like he's part of the family. Charles in Charge. Yeah, Willie Ames was so funny as Buddy Lumbeck. Every season he got dumber. That show was on for 6 years.
You know what? I like those two too, Chachi and Willie Ames, because they were together in that movie called Zapped.
Yep.
Love that movie.
You know what's a little disturbing though is that Scott Baio wound up dating Nicole Eggert at some point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
I
he's
did
Scott
not know
Baio.
that.
Funny is he had Scott Baio. I can't remember the name of the show, but he had a reality show for 1 or 2 seasons.
Oh.
Where he was trying to find love or something, and so he goes to all his ex-girlfriends, and she was there. I'm like, that's so weird. She was so young. I'm sure she was legal on. I'm not sure.
Wait. He said that?
What?
He was saying, "Oh, wow, she was so young."
No, I was saying.
Oh, I was gonna say. I thought he was like, having.
All right. So the premise of the show is he's dating this woman for a long time. He's like, I'm never gonna get married. I'm confirmed bachelor. Blah blah blah. But he loves her and he wants to marry her. And before he proposes, he's like, well, I'm gonna go to talk to all my ex-girlfriends and see, just see like what kind of guy I was, or if they knew I'd never get married or whatever. To talk about the relationship. And he goes and he's all these famous chicks that he dated right up on this show. And I'm like, man.
Okay.
Yes, but Nicole Eggert she had a poster. We had her poster. She's another one like Alyssa Milano. She was born the same year as me, so I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, you had a chance. Yeah.
It works really. Yeah.
Okay.
The problem is none of these girls ever came to Jersey.
All right, what's the percentage here?
I don't know. Murphy Brown. 60-40.
Chachi kicked its ass. Charles in Charge got 81% to Murphy Brown 19%. I was like, what the hell? I was so shocked and happy at the same time. I thought for sure Murphy Brown would kill it just because of, like what you said, the accolades that it got and stuff. Charles in Charge, 81%. I was like, wow, that's so funny.
Yeah, it might just have to be the whatchamacallit, the age thing, because we weren't watching Murphy Brown at our age. So
yeah, I had zero interest in Murphy Brown.
Yeah. So maybe that's what that was about.
Yeah. See,
all right.
Charles in Charge. I'd ask my teacher, "Hey, teacher, can you move the day?" Because it interrupts with Charles in Charge. That stupid student. Okay,
no,
yeah,
that's what was great about Charles in Charge. It was on PIX after school.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's like that and Saved by the Bell.
There you go.
All right. Next we have in the West Division, Wonder Years versus Small Wonder. Yeah. Wonder Years was one of those ones that was kind of walked the line between comedy and drama. I loved Wonder Years. I loved Winnie Cooper, Danica McKellar, and Wonder Years is just such a good show. Just very well written, very heartwarming about a family growing up in the 60s. Had a narration, Fred Savage. And then there was Small Wonder about the girl robot who like is their daughter for some reason or whatever, but they keep her in a closet. Yeah,
well, I watched both. I liked both shows, but
I like both shows. I would watch Small Wonder in a pinch if nothing was on. I'd watch it.
Exactly.
But I definitely liked Wonder Years more.
Yeah. You know what though? I mean, clearly Wonder Years is a better show, but I wondered too, like when I was going through this, if this should have been on this list, because this is more like a Doogie Howser kind of thing, right? where it's not really like a haha kind of TV sitcom, but more of a TV drama. But Wonder Years, holy smokes, what a fantastic show! My gosh. Anyway, yeah, this was demolishing. 95% Wonder Years to 5% Small Wonder. Hey, you 5%ers, good for you. You know, stick to your guns. Yeah.
Giving Tiffany Bissett some love.
There you go. All right, next one.
All right, next one was Designing Women versus Perfect Strangers.
Whoops. Designing Women, Perfect Strangers. You know what? I knew I was missing one thing. Hold on a second. Okay.
Well, okay, so while you looked at that.
Yeah,
so Designing Women was another one of those Murphy Brown, Newhart type shows on CBS. It was a critical darling, loved by everybody, very much more adult sitcom as opposed to like Alf, which is probably more for kids. And this went up against
Perfect Strangers.
What did I say? Oh, Perfect Strangers, which was funny. Cousin Balky.
Yeah.
And Cousin Larry and Balky both Tuckamoose. Perfect Strangers was, I didn't love it. It was part of ABC's TGIF with Full House and what's the Urkel show? Can't remember the name of it. Family Matters.
Yeah, whatever.
Family Matters, and then whatever the other one was. But yeah, Perfect Strangers was. I'd watch that. I'd watch that in a pinch too if I had to.
Yeah. Designing Women. Yeah, I don't remember that. I mean, I remember it. I don't remember watching it. It was there, but Perfect Strangers was good. I don't remember loving it, but it killed it. 88% Perfect Strangers over Designing Women, 12%.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I think their girlfriends were really good looking on Perfect Strangers.
The girlfriends on Perfect Strangers. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Our next one is Golden Girls versus Head of the Class. If for whatever reason the Golden Girls are hugely popular, they've become hugely popular the last probably 10, 15 years. I guess because they're in syndication or whatever. So I would say Golden Girls probably won. Golden Girls was funny as heck too. Golden Girls was very adult oriented humor, a lot of innuendos and stuff like that. So I'm sure Golden Girls won. Head of the Class might be something. I liked Head of the Class, but I don't know that it carried the weight of Golden Girls.
Yeah, I agree with you. I liked Head of the Class like a lot. I thought it was a great show. Even when they changed teachers, I thought they did pretty well. The cast was good. It was a fun show. Let's see. What was another school Welcome Back Carter? That kind of dynamic kind of thing. And Golden Girls, right. Dude, that's a huge phenomenon right there. I didn't care for it. I mean, I don't remember Golden Girls and I gotta watch it, but there are a lot of people that really love that show. But this was pretty close. We got Golden Girls at 58% and Head of the Class at 42%. So.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I was like, wow, Head of the Class.
Honestly, I didn't think people would remember Head of the Class, to be honest with you.
42%.
Head of the Class, popular for Robin Givens was in it. Probably the biggest name. Not that she became the most popular, but she was probably the biggest name. But a little fun fact: Brian Robbins and Dan Frischman, and I believe who's the guy that played the large, and Dan Schneider. I think all three of them are bigwigs at Nickelodeon now. They became producers and stuff like that. I know Brian Robbins became a producer. He's produced a lot of movies and stuff like that and TV shows.
Wow.
Leslie Bega had a recurring role on The Sopranos. Who's this? Richard Pryor's daughter was on the show too. Yeah. So yeah, I'm surprised it was that they got that many votes. I didn't think a lot of people remember Head of the Class.
Yeah, that was a solid show. So good for them.
Golden Girls was a steamroller. I didn't fill out a bracket, and it wouldn't have been my choice, but I would not have been surprised if Golden Girls won it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how strong I think it was.
There you go.
All right, and then our last bracket for this round, The Facts of Life versus Benson. Facts of Life versus Benson. Benson was a spinoff from Soap, starring Robert Goulet, where he was a butler in Soap, and the family in Soap, the brother of Katherine Hellman, became governor of, I believe, California, and Benson went to be head of his staff his household staff in California, and it was about that. And I think he ends the show by the time the show ends, he's lieutenant governor. He goes from running the household to being lieutenant governor.
Nice.
Yeah. And then it went up against Facts of Life, which started as Edna Garrett being, like the mother, like the dead mother, for lack of a better word, for a bunch of girls in a private school. But after the first season, they really shortened that down to 4 girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big
cast. Yeah, that's when it took off. And it was on for a long time, too, with it was Joe, Blair, Tootie, and Natalie. I don't remember their real names.
You don't need to.
So I think Facts of Life was a bigger show, but I think Benson might have been funnier. So I'm curious to see where this ended up.
Yeah, I want to say Benson. Benson was early 80s, probably.
Benson was...
It's got to be, because it was after Soap.
Benson was... I'm just putting IMDb in a lot of... 79 it came on.
Yeah.
79 to 86.
79 to 86. Wow, okay, good for them. Yeah.
Facts of Life.
Yeah, Facts of Life destroyed it. Well, not destroyed it, but 83% to 17% to Benson. Facts of Life, that's a funny show. Really good show. Had legs.
Facts of Life was... That can't be right.
What?
2018. I can't find it.
But when it came out, you mean?
The Facts of Life. Yeah. I can't even find it on IMDb because it's coming out with all these different things. Here we go. 1979. So they were on almost pretty much the same time.
Wow.
79. They both were in 79.
Benson was probably CBS, though, right?
Benson was ABC.
Oh, ABC. And then Facts of Life was NBC?
Yes.
It's got to be. Because that was the spinoff of Different Strokes.
What was? Facts of Life?
Facts of Life, yeah.
Yeah. So Facts of Life was on from 79 to 88. So it was on 3 or 4 more years later.
Wow. Okay. Good for them.
And they switched out Edna Garrett at one point.
Oh, yeah.
For Cloris Leachman.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, Facts of Life destroyed it, right?
There you go. All right. Wow.
All right.
1 hour in, dude.
Are we really?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's going to get shorter because, less shows.
Okay, so for second round, we have Cosby Show versus Who's the Boss. I'm going to say Cosby wins.
Dude, this was super close too, and a little bit shocking, I think, but maybe not. We got Who's the Boss for the win, 52% to 48%. Yeah, I said wow too, dude. I thought Cosby was going to go deep into this.
That's the reason he was the number 1 seed.
Yeah. Who's the Boss? Who knew?
Hey, Angela. You be Cosby. All right. Yeah, that's my Tony Danza impression.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, Angela.
That's all you need.
He was at one of the Pittsburgh conventions. I didn't meet him. I don't even know if I saw him.
Tony Danza?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to do my impression for him.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have Family Ties versus Alf. I would say Family Ties won.
Dude, another close one. Really, shockingly close. Family Ties, 54% to Alf's 46%.
Who knew Alf was this popular?
Seriously, dude.
I didn't know.
I thought Family Ties was going to destroy it, but...
When we went into school, we wouldn't sit around.